So what you can see here is first, we had 4 studs, or 5 studs actually in the corner, all nailed together. I had to remove a couple of studs because otherwise I couldn't create the airtightness. What you see here is this is how the stud looks like after 4 or 5 months the roof was on. So it was still soaking wet. You see the nails are already rusting. It was inside the building. So it's interesting to see how long it takes for the construction to dry out, even if it's fully protected. So we're talking about 4 to 5 months, fully protection, the timber was still soaking wet. So important part is, so that's why, for example, prefabrication makes so much sense, because you just eliminate all these problems. The next problem is, you see here, you have the step. So we try to fix it with spray foam because we actually had airflow behind the bottom plates and the concrete slab. So how do you solve this one? Because it wasn't a continuous layer of concrete. And the third part is, you see on the top left corner, you see the crack in the concrete. It was leaking as well. So if you have steps, it's really important that you really think about how to solve these problems. I don't know if there's questions for this detail, but if you have steps, plan them carefully. Cracks are not airtight, for example. And if you have a long crack like this one over the whole building, it might be difficult to tape it, especially if the wall setup is already done, because you can't seal behind. So
you try to use foam as airtightness. Did I get that right?
In general, I would never ever recommend a spray foam as airtightness. But in this case, I don't know what better to do, because we had a massive beam on top, so I couldn't cut it out and do it again, because we had a load sitting on these 3 studs. So I haven't had any chance.
Yeah, so yeah, but it's not the problem of foam insulation that it's like spray foam in particular, that it's not durable. So it means like in a few years, the whole airtightness is gone because it's pretty much.
It might. I think if you have a window insulation, they stay flexible and it might be okay, but it's not what I consider as an airtight approved airtight layer.
So you use the quality eBrook foam or something like that, the flexi foam, not the normal builder foam for $5 at bottles.
Yeah, which expands 5 to 10 times, and you have it all over your window.
Yeah. No. So we have to be careful with when we speak about spray foam. There's different qualities of spray foam. There's like the typical builder's foam that you get for $5 a can, but the reality is that stuff breaks down like immediately. Like we can't use that in quality construction at all for airtightness or thermal. There's a higher quality foam like Ilbrook, Hilti, Sika might have one as well. They have at least a little bit of durability and a flexibility in there. So they may stay longer airtight, but how long? It's pretty sure not 100 years that will.
It's important that it's a low expansion spray foam, because especially around windows, when you install your windows, you tape the outside of your windows and then you spray foam around the window. And the thing is, if you have a high expansion one, then you have the PO foam all over the windows. In the worst case, if it happens, just let it dry. Don't try to remove it. Let it dry, because the PO foam just sticks on the top surface of the window. It's going to be easier to remove later, because if you just try to rub it away, then you definitely F up the whole window. For sure.
And pretty much you come on site, it's already too late, because the detail has not been designed and thought of beforehand. And now you're there trying to fix it with what is available.
So I think on the end, I can't remember because it's a year ago. I think on the end, we just supported the beam. We just removed the whole corner, did it again, sealed properly, created a good bottom plate, because the whole detail, even structural wise, wasn't good at all. So on the end, because I said 3 studs for this weight load, we had a beam over 8 or 9 meters arriving at this corner, and another beam over 5 or 6 meters arriving on this corner as well. And I said, please double check with the structural engineer, because it doesn't feel right to me. And then we ended up with a steel post in the corner, but it's in the middle of the house, so there was no thermal bridging problems. So it was just pure structural and airtightness.
Okay. So you remove it at the end anyway to get it done properly.
I had to, yes.
Yeah. Okay. Good.